Let's go now to the CEO of Intelligent Risks, Neil Fergus. Neil, thanks so much for your time. I might pick up with you where we just left off with Karen Andrews. The fact that this is now a highly publicised mission, is that a problem in your view?
Oh, it certainly increases the scale of difficulty for the team that will be involved or is apparently involved in trying to plan this and implement it.
Yes, it certainly is. Have missions been undertaken? And look, I'm sitting here as a journalist. I believe in free press. I believe that most of these things, all of these things should be made public, but sometimes they need to be made public after the fact. Is that how you would have liked to have seen this mission?
Absolutely. The former government, the Morrison government, got a small group of children out at one point in time. And your viewers might recall there was a decision made not to get others out for the security factors, which Karen Andrews has just referred to. In fact, and I can't be precise on the time or the location for security reasons, there was some credible intelligence that a plot was being hatched to actually lure Australian government officials into that environment with the purpose of either killing them or holding them as hostage. So that would have impacted government risk assessments at that time.
Wow, okay, so we're talking about some 42 children, some 16 women. The men, according to these reports, would not be repatriated to Australia. In and of itself, does that create a security problem, a radicalisation problem, an assimilation problem when they do arrive back home?
Yeah, when I referred to that credible intelligence, I won't name names, but it referred to a family group where the children were entirely innocent and assessed as not being radicalised. But one of the females in that family group was, whether willingly or under pressure, under coercion, suspected of trying to be part of luring a rescue team in. We have a situation with these camps, and it differs across the camps in the area, but one of the larger camps, the Al Hol camp, there is confirmed information of a small group of militant women, mainly widows, which call themselves the Hezbollah or morality police, that have actually executed half a dozen other women that are assessed by them of having in breach of ISIS philosophy. Now, where the Australian government is apparently looking in the main as a group which is under the care, I use that term loosely, of the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, a smaller camp, less dangerous one. But anyway you stack this up, this is going to be a very challenging exercise. And as you've already said quite correctly, the challenges are exacerbated by the fact that the genie's out of the bottle and there's a lot of conversation and headlines about it.
Neil, so this is quite disturbing, and no one else has raised this yet. That, I mean, ISIS or former ISIS, or however you want to describe these women and children, they are radicalised to extent. Whether they can be de-radicalised is a bit of an academic argument at the moment, and this mission in and of itself could be part of their lure. Now, does ASIO have, again, without giving too much away, does ASIO have enough information, the intelligence to decipher between those who genuinely want to be rescued and those who might just want to lead our officials into a trap?
Well, that will presumably be a key part of the planning. Look, we've been involved as a small team in getting people out of Afghanistan for a period of time. Each one of them requires a very careful assessment to ensure that they are people at genuine life safety risk and not just people trying to shortcut migration systems. And the former government and the current government are very attuned to that. This is a slightly different beast. So it will be, without, again, going into methods and techniques, incumbent on the team, and it can't just be ASIO, obviously there are other agencies involved, will need to work closely with the administrative authorities that have a modicum of control in the area about the circumstances of the people. I presume that's already been happening, but equally, they would be looking, there are at least 3 other countries that have managed to evacuate their nationals children and widows from these camps, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and there are lessons to be learned from bilateral and multilateral conversations with those countries about how they managed to do that successfully. Everybody, and I mean, Karen Andrews alluded to it too, everybody cares about these children, but it won't help anybody if we send a team in and they are themselves put in life safety danger.
Well
or worse
said.
still,
Yeah.
wounded or even killed. So the whole thing requires meticulous planning, and execution is going to be, implementation is going to be very, very challenging. But remember this, the ADF, the Australian Defence Forces, did a phenomenal job of getting people out of Kabul before the closure of the Kabul airport. And what's probably less well known is they gave support to a number of initiatives, including by our team, to get other people, children and vulnerable people out that the Taliban were hunting for after the airport had closed. So Australian authorities have a fair bit of experience to bring to the challenge.
Neil Fergus, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for your insights this morning.
Pleasure.